Let's talk about
Yeah.
that road to WrestleMania. And all right, for those who still, for whatever reason, says, "Oh, Mr. Young, you're always glazing WWE, you're hating on AEW." I want to talk about the worst builds leading up to WrestleMania at this point.
For sure, for sure. Come, let's do it,
Because
bro.
yes, obviously I didn't get your take from it last week, but I know you got to be happy, and the way they presented it as well. I want to rewind back to that contract signing.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns. What do you need, a highlighter? That was hilarious. I thought that was very funny. And then
Mm.
CM Punk slowly going through the contract. Like first,
Yep.
is that the first time we've ever seen somebody actually read the contract? Right?
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
funny. It's kind of funny.
And then
Leave it to Punk to do something like
yeah,
that.
Punk and Heyman, right? And then them leading up to the whole, I know what you're looking for. It's on page, whatever, whatever. You're going to be the main event. And the pride in Paul Heyman's face, because we all know the history between Paul Heyman and CM Punk, right?
Yeah,
And then,
exactly.
he starts to cry and all that emotional shit. Stakes, brother, stakes.
Bro, I mean, this is what CM Punk wanted, right? When he
Yeah.
said he wanted to be, the one driving the ship, the
Mm.
number one guy. We are living I would say alternate reality where CM Punk is the top guy, and this is the kind of WWE that we will get
Yep.
because he has been talking about this since from the time when you weren't watching wrestling at that point in time, right? Where it
Mm.
was the
Mm-hmm.
John Cena era, Vince McMahon era, and CM Punk was really, really trying to say like, I want to make the change, right? I want to be the change, but he in real life he got held down. But
Yep.
I feel like now, CM Punk has been given a great spot, has been given, I would say, so-called the keys to the kingdom. You
Mm.
can see the kind of layered storytelling him, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman is giving, and it's for the smart fan because he is a smart,
Yep.
fan. He's a
Yep.
mark himself, right?
No, but see, it is for the smart fan, but it is not so over the top of your head that the casual fan cannot understand. The casual fan also understands. So it's not, I would say it's not for just the smart fans. It's for everybody. But if you're a smart fan, you know a bit extra. It's
It's
like
it's
Marvel
the
movies that do
correct.
well because they appeal to the mass, but we still wing not give you Easter eggs.
It's the Marvel formula. You're
Mm.
right, exactly. It appeals to the mass audience, but like those comic book historians will be like, "Oh my god, remember this blah
Yeah,
blah
yeah,
blah,
yeah.
this Easter egg." Like you would know about it and you will be excitedly telling the
Yes.
casuals about it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm the guy who I turn to my wife and hey, actually that one happened in blah 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 blah. That one,
Yeah,
the
correct,
annoying
correct.
boyfriend.
Bro, I'm the same way. I'm the one. I'm bad for wrestling lah. So
Okay, okay, okay.
it's perfect. So yeah,
Yeah.
back to CM Punk's so-called like the clause, right? What he just wanted it to. I mean the announcement at that point in time was like
Yep.
he is gonna be main eventing, and I think a bunch of you guys were like texting me as well, like, oh, remember this was my prediction from last week.
Yes.
I felt like, yeah, it makes so much sense because the Royal Rumble winners don't
Mm.
deserve to main event based on the bill alone.
Yep.
And again, based on star power alone, I would say it's justified that they're the
Oh,
main event,
for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Can we give props to Seth Rollins, by the way? And
Mm.
when he freaked out about, like, the kids call it crashing out. When he crashed out about CM Punk getting that main event slot,
Yeah.
like, I thought that was like, this is my favorite Seth Rollins. Not the
Seth
overly flamboyant, like, wearing Lady Gaga outfit stuff. No, like, you can tell he was pissed.
Seth Rollins the hater, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We need at least one hater in the company, like whether it's Drew, Seth, like you
Yeah,
need that. I love that trope in wrestling. Someone who
yeah.
just does not want other people to succeed.
Correct, correct. Yeah, his whole thing
Yeah.
was, I don't want you to live out your dream. I don't want you to have a main event at WrestleMania. I don't care about anything else.
If you think about it, this has been the basis of their feud, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
between all three guys. Like
Mm,
if I can't have that title, or if I can't win, I
mm.
want to ensure that you won't win as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's great. I see the value of Seth Rollins, also because the fact that he is a wild card, right? Because
Mm.
you have, people are speculating Roman Reigns and CM Punk has that Heyman connection,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But what if Seth somehow gets and take? Well, technically, right now he has no connection, so he doesn't care.
Yeah.
But people were kind of speculating what if it's Heyman turning on the two of them and going with Seth. I mean, that's a bit far
Wow.
fetched. That's a bit
Yeah.
far fetched.
Well,
But
okay, let's
yeah,
let's fast forward to this week's SmackDown and talk about the favor, which was finally revealed. And the favor actually links to a thing that happened like literally on camera. I think people are sharing the clip of him talking about, "I will escort you down to the ring at WrestleMania. I will be in your corner." He said that in the. I wasn't watching wrestling at the time, right? But I'm sure you
Yep.
know the clip.
Yeah, from 12 years ago, 2013.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that was a time when CM Punk and Heyman had
Yep.
his issues with Brock Lesnar. So
Mm.
Brock and Punk was fighting over Heyman. So it's so apropos that a decade later is the kind of full circle moment, but this time Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have promised each other that this is gonna happen. Like
Mm.
CM Punk said, like the only person that advocated for CM Punk was Paul Heyman, even from OVW days,
Mm-hmm.
ECW days, all the way until now. So there's history there. But what's so interesting is that how a favor
Yep.
can become the driving point of this storyline.
Bro, this is the man that made a Taylor Swift style bracelet into a
Yeah,
whole goddamn like feud.
yeah,
Okay? So now
yeah,
it's a favor.
yeah,
Then there was the Ulafala, the necklace for the longest time too.
yeah.
This is just great storytelling. This is what so many people, not just AEW, but certain like movie companies just lack.
Mhm. You do not like you can have very obvious stakes, right?
Yeah,
Fighting
yeah.
for a championship,
Yes.
qualifying for number one contendership. That would have been like the very straightforward way to go about it.
Mm.
But it's the strength of the storytelling that allows you to even take a simple plot device or
Yeah.
like a prop. It's not even
Mm.
a MacGyver. I really honestly think that this drives the story forward because
Wait.
the
You mean MacGuffin, right?
MacGuffin,
Yeah, you
sorry.
said MacGyver. I'm like,
Bro, so
huh?
confident as well, I said it.
I know. No, I do that all the time.
Yeah, yeah, gotta power through it, right? No, but what
By the way,
I'm
for those who don't, just context, just in case, a
yeah, yeah,
MacGuffin is a plot device in a movie or a show that, like, for example, the Infinity Stones.
yeah,
Everyone fight because Infinity Stone all powerful. That's the
correct,
plot device that drives the plot forward. The MacGuffin, right? There you go.
correct.
Okay. Anyway.
But the favor is so multi-layered, right?
Yep.
Because
Yep.
on the surface, a favor is okay, like CM Punk mentioned, he wants Paul Heyman to walk or be in his corner during the match, right?
Walk him down the aisle, macam like going to get married, bro.
Yeah, like best man like that, right?
Ah.
Yeah, but if you look on a deeper psychological level,
Mm.
it deals a psychological blow to Roman Reigns. He's
Yes.
saying that your guy, your wise man, is mine all along, and
Mm.
now remember a year ago when Cody Rhodes said to Roman Reigns,
Yep.
at the end of the day, you're just gonna be a chief without a tribe. You're
Yep.
gonna be an island all on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And Heyman is that final person to betray Roman Reigns, right? Everyone
Yep.
else has left him.
Mm-hmm.
So that will speak of a new level of character development for Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns is like, how can he be the tribal chief if there's no one following him anymore?
Yeah. No
Right?
wise man, no right hand man, nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
So
right.
that plays into something beyond just a simple superficial favor. Very, very smart storytelling and writing there.
I just find it a little bit funny, lah. Like it makes a damn difference. If you think about it too hard, I mean, like from a certain point of view, right? It's like, so he's just gonna be ringside, lah. Like,
Yes, correct.
like,
Like I have seen sections of the internet saying like, ah yeah, that one only just favor only like
yeah, like,
what's such a big deal, right?
yeah. But
But
no,
why
I get what
yeah.
you're saying. Like, if you look deeper enough,
Yeah, but why I feel that this is very impactful is
mm,
it plays into this so-called, we are on the coming down the bloodline storyline,
yep,
essentially, right? We are gonna move on to this new whole situation where what is Roman Reigns without all the armor that he's had in all these last 5 years?
mm,
Because when he was all alone as the big dog, bro, he wasn't,
nope,
I mean, he was successful, he was pushed, but
yep,
the fans didn't accept him. But now can he stand on his own
yep.
with this so-called new gimmick, but without the kind of support that he needs? So we'll play a lot into that storyline.
Look, what if, you get Brock Lesnar back?
It's a reach, bro. It's a reach.
Okay,
It's a
I know it
reach.
is, but when you think about Paul Heyman, there are only a handful of people you think next to him.
In
You
a
got CM
perfect
Punk.
world, right,
Yeah,
bro?
yeah,
In a perfect world, it would have been like you said, a CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar triple threat
yeah.
match.
Wait. Who else have they tried to make Paul Heyman manage?
A lot.
Wasn't Curtis Axel a Paul Heyman guy or something like that?
For a cup of coffee, yes.
Yeah.
You had Big Show back in the
Big
day,
Show.
yeah.
Yes.
Kurt Angle, they
Yeah.
were all part of it. Fuck, he even for I think I remember he bro, he even managed like A-Train.
Yeah. Okay, they try But the
They
three
tried.
most famous, obviously we know huh?
Oh,
Roman,
you know
Brock,
the
and
one,
CM.
the one that really they tried but couldn't make it.
Who?
The Cesaro. They tried to make him a
Oh,
Paul Heyman guy for a
yeah,
very short time, and
yeah.
yeah, they gave up.
Well, okay, there you go. So that to me is one of the like best feuds going to WrestleMania. Of course, we got Cena versus Rhodes. We'll talk more about that next week. Even Gunther versus Jay. We're seeing more of the Jimmy connection. It's funny now.
Yep.
Jimmy is doing the yeet also. I'm like, all
Yeah,
right.
but what I wanted to say was I felt like when I was watching Raw,
Mm.
they made me care about
Okay,
the
yeah,
Jey Uso and Gunther segment,
bro.
right?
Did you see Gunther making a Jimmy bleed? And then I don't know if
Yes.
they cut too deep or what, but bro looked like something straight out of a horror movie. Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? Like,
I think Triple H was like, come, let's do the Randy Orton Triple H handcuff feud from 15 years ago.
yeah,
Remember the
yeah.
one where somebody was saying Gunther just needed to kiss Jimmy, then like how Randy Orton kissed Stephanie. Perfect
Oh,
already.
right. Wait, didn't they do that in Hell in a Cell also? Remember Roman Reigns?
Was it Roman
Was
Reigns?
it
Somebody got
versus
handcuffed.
Jimmy, right? No, he was like choking him out or something like that.
Oh yeah. Jey Uso, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It
So,
was Roman and Jey Uso
yeah.
in Hell in a Cell, and he used Jimmy to. It's like a I quit
Yes,
situation,
I
right?
quit situation. Yeah. So, like, yeah, okay, we've seen this before, lah. Like, him using the blooded, battered body of a
Yep.
loved one, to taunt him,
Yep.
to build up to WrestleMania. Look, I have nothing against that. It's not a main event like WrestleMania feud
Mm.
or match,
Mm-hmm.
but it's good enough. And I think that Jay will have his time, right? He will have his championship run, which is great.
It,
And like I
yep.
said earlier, like the rest of the matches, they are just there. Some of the matches you accept it for what it is. Like, oh, okay, lah, Liv Morgan and Raquel versus whoever, TBC, right? For the women's tag titles. It's just going to be a match.
Yep.
AJ versus Logan Paul. Even he just qualified. Fatu.
Fatu
Jacob
versus
Fatu
LA
versus LA
Knight.
Knight. It's like, okay, it's probably the start of something. So I'm not going to fault them for such a short run up, right?
Yep.
But there are two feuds, bro. At first there was one. And then after this past SmackDown, there are two feuds that just are like ultra cringe, make no sense. In this day and age of amazing storytelling, these to me are the worst feuds leading up to WrestleMania. All right, can you guess?
I don't even need to guess the first one. It's
Okay.
gotta be it's gotta be Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. God damn it.
Let's talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any chance, bro? Is there any chance that they're doing this on purpose? That I am not
What
giving
do you
them the
mean?
benefit of the doubt. That they are portraying this like legit discomfort, because remember last time we talked about that promo between Tiffany and Charlotte just looked like she was trying to bury Tiffany. And we speculated that maybe that was the whole point, to make Charlotte like an uber heel. And then on this past SmackDown, they felt so awkward in that promo. Like it was the cringiest promo. I mean, Charlotte had some good lines, but then it kind of dissolved. And why would Tiffany say shit on live TV? It felt like she got flustered and frustrated. That's why she dropped the shit. Because I dropped the shit. But you know what I mean? It didn't feel like you know how WWE is recently have been so good at milking those like bad word moments.
Yep.
This felt like she was legitimately frustrated at this promo going off the rails, because it felt like it went off the rails.
Somebody went off script. Definitely. I think both of them went off script. Okay, so here's the thing that I'm trying to figure out, right? Is it like they were calling it on the fly? Like maybe Charlotte and Tiffany were in on it and they were like, you know what, let's just go throw all these bombs at each other, but I got you, right? Like they know like they're working for it.
Yep.
Or was it like when Becky and Charlotte was doing the belt tugging and like, fuck this shit, I'm just gonna fuck each other up?
That gave those vibes. It reminded me of that moment where everyone just felt a bit uncomfortable, a bit lost, a bit, And then there was the whole like, your voice is so squeaky. I was like, what am I watching?
Oh, it's like reality TV show, bro. It's like
So
that kind of cringe, bro.
yeah, so that's my question. Are they doing it on purpose? And then there's the whole okay, I get the bringing up the divorce thing, because that's supposed to be the truth bomb, like, oh, I got you moment, right? And then did you hear the throwaway line of, oh, why is Ludwig sliding into my DMs? I'm like,
Yep.
what? And it felt like such a Because okay, it felt like such a throwaway line. It was not delivered with impact, like at a crescendo of a heated argument.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
did you see how Tiffany, like when she said whatever she said, the divorce thing, right? 0-3, she
Mm-hmm.
immediately got out of the ring and rolled out. Like she didn't
She
want, like,
she
it
didn't want to
felt,
smoke lah.
yeah, she didn't want the smoke anymore. Like she was like, okay, this is my mic drop moment. I'm just gonna leave. But as a babyface, you can't be doing that. You can't be backing away from your
Yeah.
challenger. It just felt very like, okay, Tiffany is not at the level where she can verbally spar with a veteran like Charlotte. And
Yep.
Charlotte is a give no fucks type of veteran who, if you can't handle being in the ring with her, you should probably not
You
in
fe-
promos.
you forgot to mention one thing as well though.
Mm.
Like, did you realize? I think Charlotte was genuinely affected by the crowd.
Yes.
Like
Yeah. Oh,
the
yeah.
right.
Yes.
So that's one thing as well. Like a lot. I think we were talking about on the Discord. Right. Shout out to our listeners as well. Like Charlotte is already at this point in time, like a veteran, right?
Yep.
But why is she at this point in her career still being affected by the crowd? Like the crowd got to her.
Exactly. And she's a heel. She
Yeah.
should be happy that they're booing her. So I didn't understand that at all.
There was this one part. Do you remember when the boos was so loud and then she was like, you know what, Tiffany, I think you just finish it up lah. Like
Yeah,
it's
like,
like she gave up talking her part.
yeah, it's like, isn't that supposed to be great heat? That's what Dominic gets, and it's great for him, right?
Yeah.
Like it again. It felt very cringe, very awkward, and it did not make me want to watch the match. It just, it's horrible.
Yeah, like I think here's what I thought happened, right? Like they started off with a script, a plan in mind, right?
Sure.
But then the crowd started hijacking the segment, which was very obvious. And the crowd have already decided before this whole promo that they're gonna side with Tiffany no matter what, right? So which is supposed to be the case, right?
Tiffany is
So
the face, yes.
correct. So the thing is, the tag teaming of the crowd and Tiffany throwing all the truth bombs. Technically, if Charlotte wants to get heated or flustered, right, it should be in character. Like she genuinely, like she will show anger, she got emotion, she will like how MJF gets affected by the crowd, like in storyline.
Yeah.
But I felt like she was like gonna cry. She was like,
Yeah.
man, they're so mean to me, and like she wanna cry.
So I just, okay, I don't get it. Did she expect them to cheer her because she's a heel? So it's a huge that whole segment was a huge disconnect, and
Yeah.
then everything that happened after
Yeah,
the babyface just rolling out of the ring, like, okay, that's my mic drop, but she looks weak because she backed away from a fight.
Yeah.
And then
And
they're
the
just,
Kaiser,
oh,
yeah.
Ludwig slide into my DM, like,
that okay, that line, right? You know what it reminds me? It's like oh, sorry, I'm so sorry.
That's it,
Yeah, the line reminded me of like somebody who just cannot own, right?
Yeah.
And then they were like trying to process the ownage, and then they're like 5 seconds later on delay. Oh yeah, I thought of a cool zinger, but by the time finished already the moment.
yeah, the fellas are already. It's like your mom. So like
Yeah,
report.
yeah.
I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow.
It's like when you cannot own in like a diss track or something, and then you go home after 1 week, like, okay, I just thought of the best comeback ever. But like, it's really over, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You dropped the ball at that moment.
So I feel this feud has been just snake bit, and Tiffany, like, I don't understand why they're not protecting her in that. They're letting them go out there and just absolutely sink.
It's like a sink or swim situation. I think they trying to
Bro,
get.
Charlotte is sinking, which is the shocking part because she's supposed to be the veteran.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? The match is probably gonna be great, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not in question, right? But the thing is, like, everyone's coming out of this feud looking really bad.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
See, so I keep asking myself, are they doing this on purpose to pretend like they have this real life animosity and this is not scripted, right? But to exactly what you just said. But then it comes back to both of them look like idiots. Both of them do not look like, they look like kids bickering. And I'm not very interested in this match, to be honest.
But what about the other perspective where people are saying like, well, that's the most viral moment from SmackDown this week. People are talking about this feud. Like people are like genuinely dissecting whether they are truly got hit with each other. So in a way, have they done their job?
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking you. So are they working us?
Because for me watching that, right, I have rewatched that segment like 3-4 times already since it went on YouTube. So like I'm genuinely like,
Okay.
damn, these bitches hate each other. Like I love it. Like I don't mind it, right? Because let's be honest, right? When Charlotte Flair went on that talk show, and she did went on a talk show, so it's
Mm.
almost as if like it was telegraphing because she knew she's gotta know if I'm gonna go on a talk show and like pour out my life, and it's right before SmackDown, confirm my opponent gonna use it, right? So it's
Ah.
almost as if like okay, maybe this could further the storyline in a way, but the problem is like if I'm okay, for example, I'm an actor, I know this guy's gonna say this shit about me. But
Ah.
then in the moment when the person is saying that shit to you, suddenly you kind of like lost the facade that this was kind of a storyline and suddenly you started feeling it. Like,
Yeah, you start feeling the offense, like you're getting
correct.
offended. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't it remind you of that story? Like, okay, I don't know whether you remember this is kind of almost like a tidbit. There was a situation where John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, when he was still in FCW, he wanted to do like a semi-shoot storyline with Mick Foley.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure whether you know what happened, but the storyline was Nick's. It was supposed to happen in SummerSlam 2012,
Yeah.
and he was still developmental. He started calling out Mick Foley at conventions and appearing at the convention and say like you're the reason for my generation of wrestlers wanting to be a hardcore death star, blah blah blah.
Mm.
So actually, apparently, they have agreed to do this storyline,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then John Moxley started like taking pot shots on Mick Foley, like calling out his family, like making personal attacks at the kids
Mm.
on Twitter, right? And the thing is, like, apparently there was like a hard and fast rule, like there's off limits lah. That Mick
Yeah.
Foley say, okay, we can do whatever, we can make this like almost like a work shoot, but whatever is, don't talk about my family like that or something like that lah.
Mm.
But I think maybe Dean Ambrose didn't get the hint or like thought like, oh, okay, he's saying that can still talk about the family, but just not too much. But I'm just gonna mention it still, blah blah blah.
Bro. We've seen what Mox is about. He just don't
Correct.
give a F. He just do whatever.
Yeah, but long story short, he said something that apparently Mick Foley felt that was offensive, and he actually texted Dean Ambrose like, "Hey,
Mm.
I think that one might be a bit too much."
Yeah.
But Dean Ambrose didn't reply him because apparently he doesn't own a phone, or he didn't have a SIM card when he was. So when he went, he was in Europe for like a tour.
Okay.
So essentially, he kind of ghosted Mick Foley. So Mick Foley genuinely thought that they got issues now. So basically, they got worked into a shoot. You get the point I'm trying to make?
Yeah, I do. But this is the WWE in 2025 where it's a fully well-oiled machine. And I'm sure whatever they're going to do is probably run through some agents. I want to know who's the agent booking this actually.
Yeah. Well, definitely not Wade Barrett because he was just standing there smiling like, oh, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, no. So anyway, just to put a bow on this
Yeah.
awful mess. Yeah, it just felt weird. Okay, is there context to the Ludwig
No,
comment?
come. Okay.
Like,
Okay.
at some point, did Ludwig Kaiser actually send Charlotte a DM?
No
And it's a
lah.
thing.
Unless, okay, okay. If this shit will go to the next level, if suddenly Charlotte Flair go on social media, well, you want the receipts, here you go. Then suddenly got screenshot.
Oh.
Then that will be like wild, like next
Okay,
level of the
So
storyline.
I think that, yes, if that happens and somehow they rope in Ludwig, right? And then he's getting quite a bit of, he's doing very well, I feel. He's doing
Yeah.
great matches, but he's not in like a proper feud.
Yeah, understand.
But like, can you imagine if that really became a thing? And then the
Yeah.
guy that cheated on Tiffany Stratton, he would get like ultra heat.
That would be okay. If that becomes the part of the storyline and he turns on Tiffany, like I mean that's amazing, right? Then we
Yeah.
are like, I will bow my head and say,
Yes, thanks
you guys,
for working me. Yes.
yes, we have been worked. This is the best women's storyline ever, right? But come on, like it was obvious that she was just like reaching. And no offense, no hate on Charlotte. Why would you go after Charlotte when you got Tiffany Stratton, bro? You got a baddie with you.
Downgrade, downgrade.
Nothing even nothing to do with the age even. Somebody said them busted, Like I'm so sorry, this is so mean, but I'm just
What?
repeating what I saw on Twitter. Somebody say it is Tiffany Stratton versus the 15 faces of Charlotte Flair. It's not the 3 faces of Foley, but the
15. Yes, she's had a bit of work done, but it is what it is. Hey, it's her body, it's her choice, right? Very quickly, Tiffany in these feuds, in these promos, back to the whole build of it, right?
Yep.
We talked about it last time too. She's been exposed over and over again, and especially today, she was flustered too. They were both flustered, and it just left a completely sour taste in my mouth.
You know what? I won't be on that harsh on Tiffany because you forget she's 25 years old only.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
So she definitely can bounce back from this.
Yeah, but my point is, you shouldn't put her in that spot if you know
Yep.
she's not going to
Yep.
be. She's gonna sing and look like an idiot, right?
Yep.
This
Yep.
whole thing makes both of them look like idiots.
If nothing else, I don't know why Charlotte is not taking care of this like
Yeah,
situation. Like
yeah,
if I'm the veteran here, I would want to make sure like the person that I'm feuding with gets the shine.
yeah,
I'm still kind of like coming across as like I'm not shitting on her, but the fact that she is s-
yeah,
speaks a lot
yeah.
about
So
what Charlotte brings to the table here right
at
now.
the end of it, to me, it didn't work because nobody looks good.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Somebody needs to look good.
yeah. What do you think is the other match that I feel like has been the worst build to WrestleMania?
Here's the thing, I off the top of my head, I can't tell
Mm.
because you
This
said
was
From SmackDown, right?
no, it's from Raw. And this was a feud that last week I already was like, okay, I'm going to give it one more week, give it a chance to see where it goes. And it has not turned the corner for me. I feel like it is the worst build of a match.
Okay, you know what? I know where I have an idea,
Okay.
and is it gonna be quite sad to say that it's also a women's feud?
Yes,
Oh
it
man,
is.
okay, yep,
It is Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky. All right. We
yep,
talked about how I'm just not a fan of Io Sky constantly as champion being made to look like a complete jobber
yep,
leading up to this.
yep,
And maybe that's the point, right? To get people behind her. But outside of European crowds, American crowds are not cheering her. People are not behind her, for whatever reason, right?
yep,
And then we have Rhea Ripley. She still maintains her pop and her heat solely because of who she is and what she's done in the past. She is that superstar level already. But if you
yep.
think about who she is in terms of this feud, right? Isn't she the heel? She has been the one that has been getting in Bianca's face, being the petulant child, stealing
Mm,
the contract. So that's
yep.
that's a heel, right? Or if you don't want to look at it, oh, let's not look at it as heel face, that kind of thing. But that is not like nothing about it is something I want to cheer. It's like, oh, you're being irritating more than anything.
Yeah, she's doing a Shawn Michaels from 2004, getting in the
Yeah.
way of Triple H and Chris Benoit. Like we've
Oh,
seen this done before.
hey, that's actually a really good deep. That's a really great deep cut.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, when Shawn Michaels and Triple H had that bitter personal feud,
Mm,
it felt unfinished. So like by the
yeah,
time Chris Benoit came into the picture, he won the Royal Rumble. He said like, I know you
yeah.
guys had a thing, but now it's my turn. Like I felt Shawn Michaels had a legitimate reason to kind of want to get involved, right?
Yeah,
And he
but at
did.
the
Yeah,
same time, the crowd was very much behind Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit had the Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan sort of like that movement, right?
yep, yep,
And it felt like he was stealing his thunder. He was stealing his moment.
correct. That played into the storyline, and I think it
Yes.
makes sense.
None of this is available here in this match.
Yeah, the issue with this match, and I know they wanted to go on a long roundabout way because you have a lot of
Yeah,
TV time to build for WrestleMania, right?
yeah,
Honestly, Rhea should not have dropped the title to Io the day after
yeah,
Elimination Chamber. It should have just been a straight up Rhea versus Bianca, and they
yeah.
could have just played that storyline all the way here.
Right now, you got Rhea, who's your top woman, top performer, right?
Yep.
Looking like a petulant child. You
Mm.
have Io acting like a petulant child, even though she's your champion, getting disrespected left, right, and center. Nobody's taking her seriously. And you have Bianca, who's actually got a really great story, but on the different brand. She is
Yep.
supposed to be involved with Jade and Naomi, but
Yep.
somehow she got roped into this story because they wanted her in this match at WrestleMania. Like
Yep.
the road to get here has been shit.
I almost wished that Bianca didn't win.
Yeah.
Because if she did not win, she
Mm.
could have been part of the Jade and
Naomi.
Naomi situation, right?
Yeah, and at least that one has stakes, it has emotion, it has friendship, blah blah blah. It's great stuff. Naomi's doing great work as a heel
Yeah,
right now.
right. But then the thing is, like, yeah, you needed a challenger for Rhea Ripley and Io because they weren't in a match in the
Mm.
Elimination Chamber. And then there wasn't anyone feasibly that could have won because
Yep.
you already seen Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan had a great performance during that match,
Mm.
but we've already seen her as champion, right?
Yep.
They didn't want to pull the trigger on Alexa Bliss. A lot of
Yep.
people like her coming back. So
Hey, what happened to Alexa?
they just drop her because I think they don't have a storyline for her going to WrestleMania. They want to save her for afterwards.
Yeah, she
I think
literally disappeared after she came back at the where she came back, Rumble?
she came in at Rumble. She appeared on
Elimin-
both
yeah.
both PLEs, right?
And then after
But
that, gone.
so
What?
there was a situation where actually she was slated to appear at WWE World
Uh-huh.
on the week leading up to WrestleMania, but then her appearance got pulled. So there was some speculation that like what was that? Is that like WWE saying like okay, we don't gonna factor her in the road because
Mm,
she's gonna be only part of like post WrestleMania? We do not know.
yeah.
But
But
yeah, again, you brought somebody back with a lot of fan support,
mm,
and you don't do anything with her. So
yeah.
it's a missed opportunity, lah.
And just looking at this match, right? And what it's probably going to be, Io versus Bianca versus Rhea. Like the match itself is probably going to be really good.
Yep.
But the story, the lead up, everything has been a miss to me. And we've seen all three as champion before multiple times already.
Yep.
Like I don't literally care who wins the title now out of this three.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? But
Oh,
that being said, bro,
mm,
I actually enjoyed the special guest referee match, like the main event on Raw. I
sure.
thought it was really quite well done because like
Yeah.
Rhea and Io had a banger as expected, and I did like the tension of Bianca being the referee.
Yeah, but wasn't it so obvious what was going to happen? Like you could call it from a mile away.
Yeah, it's like wrestling 101 lah, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but here's the thing. I feel like what is up with all these multi-man matches in WrestleMania, right? They
I mean,
can't can't
yeah,
they just like commit to just one triple threat?
yeah. They're trying to get as many of them, on the
On
docket
the card.
on the card, and get them a payday. It's living out a dream WrestleMania, and I get it. I respect it as well. But to me, this has been the worst build of any feud,
Yeah.
primarily because it's made me look at Rhea and go, "What are you doing?" As
Yeah.
opposed to, "Oh, it's mommy, you know what I mean?" There
Yeah.
used to be this aura of mommy's here. She's gonna wreck shop. Now it's like she's just gonna do petulant shit.
Yeah, I would even say her feud last year with Becky felt like even more personal. Like
Yeah,
Becky had a legitimate reason to go after Rhea. Rhea was trying to prove herself. There was a lot of layers to that story.
yeah,
This is just like that's why I say like they should have just made Rhea versus Bianca because they could have told that story so well.
mm.
Can you imagine they had like a Shawn Michaels Bret Hart kind of like lead up, like everyone going to their separate
Oh,
training regimens, or
yes,
like
yes.
like Bianca training her CrossFit and then Rhea going back to Australia to kind of recapture. Like all that can be told in the
Yeah.
vignettes leading up to WrestleMania. Missed opportunity, man.
But okay, answer me this. What is the point of making Io Sky look like a child next to them? Like at every turn, face
Yeah.
palm, like pie face, pie face, pie face. And then she's doing the overacting, unfortunate, Japanese style thing that I can't stand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and here's the thing: they've already established that she's a badass. Like
Yeah.
in NXT, we know that she can wrestle and she's fearless and all that. But how can these two opponents, just because they're taller or bigger than her,
Yeah.
underestimate her, knowing that she's really given them a lot of great matches? So
Yeah.
the
And
psychology a bit off, lah.
yeah, and not only that, right? It's like we always talk about, you should always make your opponent look good, even if you are talking down to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nothing in this feud has made Io Sky look good.
Yeah, agreed. It's like she had to fight for the attention to get noticed by her opponents, which is just not
Yeah.
the right
And she's the
logic.
champion. Can
Yeah.
you imagine if she's just like, all right, I don't care about you two. Whoever it is, you come and face me. And then she walks off. At
Yeah.
least, okay, she got some vibe. Cool.
More aura. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
she's like, oh, geez, stop.
Yeah, it's bad. Like I would even say again, the feud last year with Bailey felt so much more
Yeah.
stakes,
Mm.
and poor Bailey, like we don't even know where she is right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. One more thing, actually, I wanted to bring it up earlier, but I completely forgot about it. Talking about WrestleMania matches, right?
Yeah.
I think you know what I'm gonna bring up, because do you think this is a work or a shoot?
Which is?
Someone has been pulled off the WrestleMania card. On SmackDown,
Yes.
Kevin
Yes.
Owens comes out in a Bret Hart sweater. So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, and he's somber and he's talking about how he has to get neck surgery. Is this a shoot or a work, you reckon?
They've gotten me, bro. I do not know.
Because it felt real, right? It felt
Yeah.
like one of those moments where they just were like, okay, you have to do the neck surgery. We want to give you a moment lah. to let the fans respect you. And then Randy even comes out, and then they stare down, and then sort of just leave it at that, right? So I'm like, oh man. And then Randy RKO's Nick all this because you got to give the fans a pop. So I get that.
Yeah.
It seems like
Uh,
a shoot.
somebody said this and brought up I would say it's a fair point. Like,
Mm.
if he really truly have to go for next surgery, wouldn't getting punt kick at WrestleMania be the perfect send off for him to go?
Exactly right.
Yeah. And like, if you announce it now, he has not been physical at all
No.
since, like, since Sami Zayn. So technically he can still afford to not be physical up until
Yeah.
WrestleMania. And even say, for example, he really needs to go for next surgery, couldn't the match be like a 5 minute squash where Randy just
Punch.
obliterates him and
Yeah,
that's it?
exactly. No, that's a great point, right?
Yeah.
So, so I don't know.
But
And if
but
okay, so if
yeah.
it's a work, right? Then
Yeah.
how? You're gonna set this up next SmackDown?
I mean, there's still 2 more weeks of SmackDown, so like anything
Eh,
can still happen.
two or one? One, two,
Two.
oh, two. You're right. Two
Yeah,
more
you're
weeks of
right.
SmackDown.
So there's
Sure.
still two.
So maybe what next week's SmackDown we see video handheld footage of Kevin Owens doing headstands. So like,
Yeah.
don't bluff, your neck not broke.
I really hope so. Because
Yeah.
this is actually one of the matches that I was looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Randy, I love
Yeah.
Kevin Owens. So, it would have been such a shame if they ended it. A couple of things like make me feel like I can't say for sure because Randy came and they had a face to face and they
Yeah.
didn't say anything. So it's almost as if like if this was real life, right? Like yeah, they are acknowledging like it's more of like this sucks. I
Yep.
would love to still have wrestled you, but okay, let's move on. But we can't
Mm.
really acknowledge it because we are supposed to hate each other.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So
exactly. Yeah.
so that's why it felt like a gray area. But secondly, I felt like this is such a Kevin Owens thing to do as well. Like Kevin Owens can like just say, you know what, I can't wrestle, I have to
Yeah.
go get surgery, blah blah. It's a chicken shit heel way of trying to
Yeah.
get out of the match, right?
And he's been wanting to get out of the match. Remember, he was like, "Hey, let's be a tag team instead." So
Yes,
every week
yes.
he comes up with an excuse. So I actually like, I'm okay. I'm hoping it's a work because it
Yeah.
would suck as a shoot.
But doesn't this like make me like I applaud WWE because it's
Yeah.
like, yo, you guys are hooking us like we are believing it and maybe they're making us string us along for at least 2 more weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Or Kevin Owens is in his heel character trying to string everyone along saying that he had to go for surgery.
Agreed.
Um honestly, I won't be surprised if it's legitimate though. I really
Yeah.
think that with all the matches that he's had recently with Cody
Mm.
Rhodes and Sami Zayn, like yeah, something's gotta be banged up there.
Yeah.
But again, like as a wrestler, if it's like Cody's situation, like I have a torn pec, like my neck is broken, or like my neck is like there's a risk if I were to get into the ring. Is there any way we could do it in such a way that they can have had surgery straight
Mm.
away and they can be protected? Because like there's a way you can do it that protects him. Like
Yeah.
remember like Ric Flair wrestling, Ric Flair wrestling recently,
Well,
taking the punt kick.
yeah. What you talking about his retirement match?
No, well, I was talking about like I think this was during the Thunderdome era. Remember
Mm.
Randy like punt kicked Ric Flair, but it was done in such a way that he actually didn't have to take the punt kick. But
Yeah. They cut the shot or something like that, right? Was
correct,
it?
correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, but he can't do it live lah. But what I'm saying is like there's a way he can do it without actually
Mm.
destroying his neck lah.
Well, you know what? Again, like you said, kudos to WWE. Maybe this is something that will have more developments lah in a week's time.
We shall see. You know what? One of my favorite mid card feuds that's going to WrestleMania. So I do hope that it's not left off with such a waves if it is. Yep.
There you go. So the road to WrestleMania is going to be a fun one. I'm excited to see where this goes, and of course, preview it next week with you, bro.
Yep.
Plus, we'll have something fun planned for the preview.
Yeah, we got to have fun during WrestleMania, and I believe the week after that will the actual WrestleMania week itself. We
Yep.
will try our best to go live
Yes,
on the
right.
Sunday.
Right after WrestleMania.
Yep. We shall see for night 2, like because it's a Monday, right?
Monday,
So
yeah.
we shall see the situation. But you know what? Stay tuned. Get all the updates on our socials, on our Discord, and of course Patreon. If you guys are supporting us there, thank you very much, and do consider supporting as well. And we shall see what
Mm.
happens in this next 2 weeks, you might never know what crazy things is gonna happen in WWE.
Oh, absolutely. Will we be graced by the final boss once again to come in, slit his
Mm,
throat, and order John Cena around or not?
yeah. Can we very, very quickly mention, like, what do you think of that? Finally, that they have a face to face, like a back and forth between Cena and
They
Cody Rhodes.
they needed to. People online, obviously, the whole discourse is, oh, Cena cooked
Cody
Cody.
Rhodes.
Yeah, I combined
You
Rhodey.
combine both, yeah.
Cena cooked him, or Rhodes stood up to him. I think they both did great.
Yeah,
To be honest, like it. This is the exact opposite, and just to circle back to Charlotte and Tiffany, is the exact opposite of Charlotte and Tiffany. We know that John Cena can cook Cody if he wanted to, right?
yeah,
But he was there, and he, even though a lot of what he said was true, truth bombs, right?
yeah.
Cody held his own. He knew what he was doing, and they had it's like two legends butting heads, and it
Correct.
felt like two people on the same level butting heads.
Correct. Both came out looking good,
Yeah,
looking strong, right?
yep, yep,
Like you've seen, I mean, I'll give you a very good attitude era example. Every time The Rock and Stone Cold traded barbs, right?
yeah,
You never felt like, yeah, they were shitting on each other, they were calling each other's names and all that nonsense.
yep.
But no one was trying to cut each other's legs from underneath them, right?
Me, your voice is so high, I can't hear me. Oh, jeez.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine Stone Cold say that to The Rock? "Ah, I can't hear you. Oh my god. I'm all up in my Terry Reynolds DMs. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oof.
It's
But yeah, just so back to it, right? I'm just, I'm there for the ride. To be honest, it feels like you brought out earlier the road to WrestleMania this year longer because of the European tour, right? So it
Yep.
feels like, yeah, they are rehashing stuff once in a while, but we find they're spreading it out. We got a bit of altercation. Maybe next week we'll get more altercation. This time John Cena can get one up on
Yep.
Cody Rhodes. Maybe freaking Travis Scott can come and give Cody a eardrum burst.
John Cena needs to do the Rock killing Cody Rhodes at the back parking lot
Yeah, yeah,
segment. Like you gotta do
yes.
something similar. And I'm very curious to see Jey Uso and Gunther, like after the
Mm,
beatdown, the bloody beatdown that is gonna happen. That happened last week.
yeah.
We have you know what, they have made me interested to see what's next. So
Mm.
any matches do you think that might happen, like might be announced this coming week ahead of our
Wow.
predictions?
Like, especially if Kevin and Randy is really off the card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who else could they add? Street Profits?
I mean, they gotta do something for the tag team division for sure. Um,
Okay, the IC title.
okay. I see they
So
might. You think it's a multi-man?
yes, it's probably going to be Finn, Dom,
Mm.
Braun, Penta. So it's a four-way, right? And
Yep.
this might be where, you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing Dom finally get a title.
Ooh, so it could be a thing where Liv Morgan tries to help, like politic her way to get Dom a spot in a match.
Yes.
And then
And
Finn will see as oh, you are disrespecting me kind of thing,
yes,
right?
as a threat, right? But then finally, they can finally oust Finn and bring in a
Mm.
new person. Maybe
Ooh.
Malachi as the
Ooh.
leader of the Judgment Day.
Ooh, bro, don't give my hopes up, bro, like
Or,
that, bro.
or, or maybe Rusev, Putria, Rusev,
Ooh.
Matska.
Oh my god.
Dun,
Then,
dun,
then,
dun,
then,
dun,
then,
dun,
then, then,
dun, dun, dun.
You know what? Rusev coming as a
Enforcer.
surprise opponent will be
Mm.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you talk
I
about
mean,
WrestleMania is a time for surprises, right?
yeah.
You never know. It could be Malachi, it could be Rusev.
Good picks,
Mm.
both. I do not know whether they're gonna make the tag team match like on the card, like
Oh my god. Bro, it's gonna be a tornado 10 team bullshit, sort of a
I mean
thing, man.
the New Day technically is number one contenders for
Oh
the
shit.
for the War Raiders.
Warrior, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Look, don't get me wrong. I actually enjoy what they're doing right now,
yeah,
but no. Oh, very quick. I know we keep sidetracking, but how many very quicklies do we have?
yeah. Last one, come.
Hashtag very quickly. Oh my god, I forgot his name. Uh,
What?
Grande
I love
Americano.
Americano Grano. Check Gable.
Oh, I love that shit. Like
Yeah.
Chad Gable is one of those guys. Every time he's given some shit gimmick, he makes it work. And I really hope he gets his shine one day. You
Chad
know?
Gable is my Kurt Angle regen.
Yes,
He
he is
is.
he's the next generation of Kurt Angle in that he's a great worker. He's not
Entertaining.
like 100, like he's not like the Rock entertaining. Well, Rock in his prime, not current Rock. He's not, you know what I mean? Like Kurt was always a great promo, but he wasn't Rock Austin vibe.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
but still a great promo and a great worker.
I just feel like Chad Gable should have won the IC title this past summer, like when he
Yes.
was feuding with Sami Zayn and all that. Like, I honestly, Chad Gable as a singles champion is super belated. Like, it should have
Yeah,
happened years ago.
But bro, it's fine. He doesn't need it. This thing with the Grande American with the fake promo package. You know when the
Yeah.
promo package was playing and you saw the footage at the back look like AI generated. I was like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
god, that's great. Like they're leaning into like popular tech and culture. They probably
Yeah.
created it using AI.
I love it. I love it. I mean, it's entertaining, and you know what? Raw is easier to watch than
Yes.
SmackDown. Because there's so
Oh,
many things that's interesting on Raw.
El Grande Americano.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a freaking Starbucks order, lah, but sure, I guess. Yeah, I'm curious to see where that leads to. Like, is that gonna somehow factor into the IC title picture? Is that gonna stand alone on its own? There's so many unknowns there, right?
Yep.
So we shall see. We shall see. You know who I would really like to be on the card on WrestleMania, who does not have a match yet?
Who?
Such a disgrace if she's not on the card.
Okay.
Chelsea
Green. Yes. Agreed.
I mean, whether it's her defending her US title or being on the corner of the secret Hervis, which is a very interesting name.
Yeah.
But Chelsea Green is my female MVP of WWE, so you gotta have her on the card somehow.
Hey man, you go for Chelsea Green. I'm going for.
Okay.
Like I will advocate for Lyra Valkyria.
Okay, I know your type, bro. I know your type.
You know.
Yeah, good.
What
for you,
is
good
it? I
for
don't even know what is my type.
I don't know lah.
But-
Like quite, like a bit quite, like sweet. You know. That's your
Bird
type.
lady.
No, not Balili, but yeah, I get you. I got you, bro. I got you, fam.